In solo leveling, Jin-Woo arrives to the Hunter Association for his rank evaluation and is surprised by the crowd of reporters. However, they are gathered for TV star Lee Min-sung's evaluation. Jin tries to enter the building, but he gets yelled at by Min-sung's bodyguard, telling him he can't enter right now. However, Go Gun-hee appears questioning on whose authority they are sending him away, as he personally walks Jin into the building. Min-sung gets angry at having his spotlight stolen, and as he thinks about how he's going to fix the mood with the reporters, Woo Jin-chul and others appear guarding the entrance as he tells the movie star that no one can enter until 11. Min-sung pleads to be let in as his evaluation is at 11 and the reporters are already there. When Min-sung doesn't get his way, he tries to strong-arm Woo Jin-chul, saying his father owns the Hunters Association's biggest sponsor, as he asks if Jin-chul can handle the consequences of ignoring him in front of all of the cameras. Jin-chul says, "Yes, I can," and the movie star is shocked as he asks if the hunter they let in is that amazing. In this moment, Jin-chul pulls off his glasses, asking if the actor could handle the consequences of knowing. Meanwhile, in the exam room, the evaluator requests to see Jin's abilities so they can assign his class, so Jin summons one of his soldiers. This is when Go Gun-hee asks if that's the full capacity of his ability, and Jin thinks that since there were a lot of witnesses anyway, there's no point in lying. So he summons his entire shadow army, stunning everyone in the room, as Baek Yoon-ho says he's nothing compared to when they first met. And with this, Jin-Woo gets his license officially recognizing him as an S-rank hunter. Jin watches his sister sleep, concerned someone might approach her while he's away, so he summons Tusk's guards. This is when he notices there are only 3 of them, as he asks where the 4th one is, and one of the orcs points upwards as Jin remembers he pinned one to the roof back in chapter 72. Jin sends the other 2 back and attaches the high orc along with 2 other guards to his sister to keep her safe. He thinks he might as well keep the whole neighborhood safe while he's at it, so he calls out the neighborhood watchmen and sends them to patrol the night. With his sister and the neighborhood safe, Jin enters the demon gate. Jin-Woo puts on some new gear, and in this moment he receives a quest to defeat the Demon King. And the rewards are even better than last time, as he gets 30 bonus stats, a hidden reward and a rune that after broken will grant a job-specific skill. Jin continues his climb on floor 76 and gives the Orb of Avarice to Tusk, who turns himself giant and easily blows away the highest grade demons. At this point, we learn that Jin-Woo has saved 127 shadows in his army, and he decides to manage them a little more efficiently, so he splits them into 6 teams total with only 2 orders. Eliminate any demons they run into and notify him once they find the entry permit. Jin-Woo disperses his shadows and this arc continues. It's been 2 days since Jin-Woo reached floor 80, and he realizes that since he still hasn't found the entry permit, there must be a strong enemy somewhere in the dungeon. Suddenly, Jin rapidly loses mana as someone or something continuously destroys his shadow soldiers, so he has no choice but to recall his shadows. The next day, due to a continuous ambush, he had to call his soldiers back again. Jin figures out that the enemies are intelligent, since they are purposely targeting the enemies they know they can win against, and predicts they'll be targeting Tank's group next. Jin watches in stealth as a demon noble and 3 demon knights make their way towards Tank's group. In this moment, one of the demon knights easily cuts through Tank and his bears as Jin says the shadow monsters have no chance against the demons. Jin-Woo reveals himself and the demon knight charges, stabbing at the shadow monarch. However, he dodges, kicking the demon, instantly defeating him. The remaining demon knights charge Jin, but he vanishes before easily chopping them down. The demon noble stands shocked as Jin says he wondered if monsters could feel fear, but now he's certain, as the demon's attacks leave holes in the buildings behind him. In this moment, Jin breaks the demon's javelin and grabs their face, but before he can thrust his dagger, the demon, speaking in human language, surrenders, saying, "I give up." Curiously, Jin lifts up the demon's helmet and is surprised to see a girl as she apologizes and begs for her life, causing Jin to criticize the demon girl for attacking his soldiers and then ask for forgiveness. However, she responds that she has to protect this area and can't just let somebody run around and kill all of the demons. Jin turns around and looks at his blade, thinking he really doesn't want to stab her given her human-like appearance. At this moment, the girl tries to stab Jin in the back, but Tusk uses Hymn of Protection to block it, as the Shadow Monarch asks her what she thinks she's doing. Once again, the noble begs Jin for her life, saying she'll get him whatever he wants. Tusk then uses gravitation magic to lift the demon, as Jin questions her about the entry pass. She reveals the pass is being protected by her clan, and offers to take him there if she can be brought back unharmed. She also claims to know the locations of all the other passes and promises to guide him in exchange for her clan's safety. Jin wonders if he can trust this girl, so he gets really close and asks if she can be trusted as he activates his bloodlust skill, terrifying the demon noble. She shakily assures him that he can trust her, so Jin agrees to leave the floor quietly. We learn the demon girl's name is Lady Essel, eldest daughter of the Reindeer clan. Jin asks if she constantly hears voices in her head telling her to kill humans, and the demon girl says no. However, she does hear a voice telling her to protect the area they are in. Jin asks when she started hearing the voices, and the noble responds that it was the moment they opened their eyes. This shocks Jin-Woo, as he questions if the demons used to live somewhere else, thinking this could be a clue to figuring out the system. Essel responds that they were in the demon world, and before they knew it, they just ended up here. Jin then asks what they were doing in the demon world, but as the girl tries to respond, she glitches while saying they were preparing for war. The monarch continues to question the demon noble, asking what they were fighting against, and she responds that it was an enemy so powerful that all of the demons were required to gather together. In this moment, the demon girl glitches, repeating that the allowed amount of information has been reached. Jin compares her glitching to Baruka and thinks that since everything has been like a video game, it wouldn't be strange if monsters had backstories. So Jin asks Essel who the powerful enemy they were fighting is, but she glitches once more before passing out. This leads Jin to think that the enemies they fought may be the key. After glitching and passing out, Lady Essel wakes to find Jin pointing at a pile of defeated demons that had tried to attack her during her sleep. She thanks Jin, explaining that demons without intellect don't consider demons with intellect to be of the same race. Jin-Woo and Essel arrive at the demon castle, and upon entering the throne room, Essel's father is shocked, questioning, "What kind of guest brings an army into someone else's home?" Jin replies that he'll leave quietly if he's given the entry pass and one more thing, as he grabs Essel, pulling her close. Over dinner, Jin makes it clear that he only wants Essel to be a guide, and after assuring her father that he won't put her in any harm, the demon lord reluctantly hands over the entry pass. Jin asks Essel if she can leave immediately, and the demon says yes, requesting a party with the Shadow Monarch, which allows them to enter the movement magic circle and share experience together depending on the party members' contribution. They reach the location of the next entry permit, and Essel offers Jin a bottle of alcohol for negotiations. However, Jin isn't interested, telling her, "Wait here, it won't take long," as he prepares to retrieve the permit himself. After clearing out the demon castle, Jin-Woo's shadows Igris and Tank reach their max levels. This is when we learn that once this happens, Jin receives the option to promote them. Accepting this, Igris is promoted from Knight rank to Elite Knight rank, making him as strong as an S-rank hunter, while Tank is promoted to Knight rank, equivalent to a high-end A rank and officially receiving his name. Lady Essel asks Jin how many clans he's destroyed so far, and he responds that since they're on the 89th floor, it would be 9. She then warns Jin that starting from the 90th floor, the entry passes will be guarded by clans in a completely different league, suggesting he try to persuade them as he did with the Reindeer clan. Jin turns down that idea, stating he plans to boost the Reindeer clan to the top. Curious, Essel asks why Jin spared her clan, and Jin replies that he took a liking to her, causing the demon girl to blush. As Essel said, the difficulty suddenly increases on the last 10 floors. However, Jin-Woo didn't get this far through luck. Essel asks if all humans are this strong, and Jin replies maybe about 2 people, as he thinks of Go Gun Hee and Cha Hai-in, explaining that there are power gaps even within the S rank. Jin-Woo thanks Essel and tells the demon noble to go back to her floor, but she responds no, telling Jin she wants to see the outcome of his fight with the Demon King. Jin-Woo and Essel arrive at the 100th floor, and a wyvern lands, carrying Demon King Baron on its back. Jin senses the overwhelming aura as Essel stands terrified, and Jin questions if he can win. Noting that the wyvern is the first non-demonkin he's seen so far, aside from the horse Essel was riding, Jin realizes that since it's not a demon, he may be able to extract its shadow. In this moment, Demon King Baran uses the skill, Hell's Army, which opens portals summoning demon soldiers, knights, and generals, shocking Essel as Jin says that, just from a glance, he can see more than 1,000 demons. The demons charge, and as Jin gets surrounded, he activates activates Domain of the Monarch, summoning all of his shadows as they impale the demons from below. Tusk uses Hymn of Combustion, blasting the demons, while Essel stands amazed, having never seen Jin fight before. In this moment, Demon King Baran shoots lightning into the sky, making it rain lightning on Jin and his army. Jin realizes he needs to stop the magic before his shadows are destroyed and he runs out of mana. He jumps, targeting the wyvern's wings, but the Demon King blocks Jin's attack, slashing him into the ground. Before Jin can fully recover, Baran charges up another attack that Jin barely dodges. The attack follows Jin, but just before it can hit him, Tusk shoots fire, their attacks colliding in the air. Tusk overpowers the Demon King, taking down the wyvern as Jin stands ready. He and Baran face off as this battle continues. Baran summons 2 daggers, and Jin braces himself for the next onslaught. They dash at each other, clashing blades and trading strikes. The demon charges up an attack and fires. Jin parries, but loses both of his daggers in the process. In this moment, the dungeon boss stabs at Jin-Woo, but he catches the demon's hands. This is when Baran charges up another attack as Jin questions if his mana has a limit. Suddenly, he's hit in the head with a knife and the dungeon boss looks to Essel. Jin seizes the opportunity, using all of his strength stat and his Dominator's touch to rip the Demon King in half before uppercutting him so hard he completely obliterates the demon's head, defeating the Demon Gate dungeon boss. Jin-Woo completes the quest, obtaining Baran's soul along with the Demon Monarch's ring, the Demon King's longsword, 2 daggers, Baran's horns, and purified blood of the Demon King. With the Demon Monarch's ring, Jin unlocks all of the set effects, granting him plus 15 to all stats. Finally, Jin has all 3 ingredients for the holy water of life, so he begins crafting. This is when he learns that the success rate and number of items crafted depend on his intelligence stat, as he says that if he knew this, he would have spent all of his stats on the intelligence stat beforehand. Despite this, Jin's craft is successful, and he produces 6 bottles of holy water of life. In this moment, Iron drags the wyvern's body to Jin as he compliments the shadow for being quick-witted. Jin says the word arise, extracting the winged shadow. However, unable to recall the wyvern's name, he names the shadow Kaisel. Jin also collects the Shadow Exchange runestone from the quest, which allows him to exchange locations with any of his shadows. Jin tells Essel she'll have to return to her clan herself as it's too far to get rewarded, and exchanges locations with one of his watchmen in the neighborhood. And this arc continues. After Jin exchanges places with his shadow soldier in the neighborhood, he summons Kaisel and flies to the hospital to see his mother. Once he arrives, Jin feeds her the holy water of life. Her color returns, but she doesn't wake up immediately, so Jin waits by her bedside until she eventually wakes, asking how long she was asleep. Jin responds, 4 years, and his mother then asks about Jinna, and he reassures her that she is fine. She thanks him for keeping his promise to take care of her, and in this moment she grabs Jin's hand, saying, "It must have been difficult," and Jin cries, saying, "Yeah." The next morning, Jinna bursts into tears as she hugs her mother. Jin thinks that all of his efforts up to this moment were worth it. However, he can't help but wonder if he distanced himself too much, as a sense of uneasiness takes over. Jin checks his phone to a bunch of notifications and sees news about a monster flying in the night sky. He then receives a call from Chairman Go Gun-hee, who asks if he's heard the news. Confused, Jin apologizes, saying he'll be more careful next time. But the chairman didn't know what he was talking about, so Jin asks, "What's the matter?" explaining that he just came back from a place with no service. Go Gun-hee responds, "It seems you really haven't heard the news," and asks if they can meet. And a new arc begins. Follow for more.